right, here we go again. I'm glad that we ate before we got into this topic. It was good.
Let's do it. Thank y'all.
Put my little feet up in.
Okay. All right. It was you.
So that's what we do. Okay. Everybody knows Ndoku. He can, but he don't. And anyway, back where we have our guest with us today. I am so glad to have him here. Entrepreneur for many, many years, leaders in our community, as well as having the expertise, and that is none other than Wallace Rebel and Street Rebels. I'm glad to have you guys here with us today. Oh, we're doing here. Maybe so long. Focus. All right, never mind. But Cherie offers not only personal insight, but also she is an expert because she is a certified grief counselor, along with many other certifications. I'll let her give her resume on that because I don't want to miss out on any of those when she begins to speak. But I would like if you guys, because of their own personal experience, recently as of 10 months, yes, 10 months today, of dealing with the loss of their son, Brandon Mickens. And I would just like for you guys to, first of all, give us your credentials, because some people like to know not only do you have the experience, but you have the qualification as well as experience.
I do hold a master's addiction counselor certification, as well as a certified grief specialist. Recently got my grief specialist due to the death of my son. I felt like I just needed to get into something more to deal with the loss. So I am certified in both. Specializes most in addiction.
And with you saying that, I have one question I would like to ask. The way you counsel now as opposed to before, how has your counsel been different since the loss of your son?
Totally different. This now is, I can do it from experience. I can give you not only the experience side, but I can share, and I'm actually able to empathize with what you're going through more now than, we all have a loss, whether it's a pet or sometimes divorce, sometimes jobs, and siblings, family, but going through the loss that we share is just uncommon. And you hear that a lot, that losing a child is an uncommon death. It's natural to lose a parent or a sibling. But when you lose a child, that's a hurt, it's a pain that is undescribable. But even going through that side, I am more now, I can feel what you're going through.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, because joy is here right now. So join us, join us, join us, join us as we grow and we be inspired. We're thanking God for a brand new day. He's been so good and he makes a way. Our daily bread is on our plates as we're breaking fast with the plagues.
I want to share something with that in that moment, because when you said it, it made me think about, we know we churchy, but we still deal with natural things that deal with, and we know that Jesus wept. And that was one of the things that helped me during the time, because, we always taught to be strong. When I found out, that Jesus wept over the loss of a friend, whether he was weeping over Lazarus or he was weeping over the pain of his family. One way or another, we know he felt it. And it said Jesus, he said the reason he was able to heal people, the reason he did it, he said with compassion, he healed them all. More or less, he could feel what they was going through. So with that being said, I guess that kind of leads you to what you were saying. Then now you can feel it. It comes from not just a head knowledge, now it's a heart thing that's attached to it. And I would like to just drive off the road for 1 minute. I'm gonna come back and I have a question that I can't wait to ask. And I may let you ask the question. I'm gonna let you ask your own question. But to the man of the house, I know I've known you for probably close to 40 years. And I know what it felt like when things happened with me and my father and what I had to become. But as a strong leader of the home, a strong man that know what it is to get up early and stay up late to work for his family, how do you grieve when you're still trying to be the man and hold everybody else together? What does that look like?
Well, Pastor, it was hard. I did a lot of praying. I had to be strong for my wife because she took it real hard. I had to be strong for her, our daughter, and I mean, it touched me quite a bit, real hard. But I did mine later, my grieving later. I had to be strong for her and the rest of my family. But and I'm still grieving. It's not over. I mean, there's not a day go by that I don't think about him and what he meant to me. And the times that I needed him at the shop, he was just a phone call away.
Yeah.
And when I did go back to work, I needed him real bad. There was days that I reached for that phone, but it had to come back to me. But it was tough. But like I said, God was in the mix.
I hear you, and I say that. One of the things that I guess I applaud in this moment, you're saying, and it's still not over. No. Some people, it's like that joy comes in the morning. And I believe that's true. I just don't know which morning it's going to be. And sometimes we're so quick to try to jump out and then get to our next thing and get back to our normal way of life till we kind of miss out. Or I think we do a poor job at self-care. We're so busy taking care of everyone else till we don't take care of ourselves. And I commend you for saying that you was there for your family, but then there was a time you had to take for yourself and kind of grieve. What do you find, I guess, in enjoyment and ways that you escape real life?
My alone time. Fishing. It was a big help.
Okay.
I would go by myself just so I could be alone and think. It really didn't matter whether I caught any fish or not. It was just the idea of being out there. And it's something about that water. It just calms you down. But that's the way I get a lot of my grief. Yeah.
I know you're a man of few words, but the words that you speak have such great power. And I'm thankful for that. I thank you for sharing your story, because a lot of times people don't understand that because they don't see the breakdowns, they don't hear the conversation, that we're actually grieving or dealing with something. But you say you filed the way, I guess, the grieving in private. And I'm glad you was able to do that, because sometimes we just don't find those moments when you just so ready to get to the next thing and check the next box till we just kind of skip some steps. And I think a lot of times that's why we as a people walk around so angry.
Yeah.
I think we're so short-tempered, so angry, short fused, because we got so much trauma that has happened to us that we never dealt with. So it's almost like everything is the straw that breaks the camel back, because we have so much weight on us already to any little thing, we're ready to pop off, we're ready to snap off. But I think that we need people like you to help us navigate through the stress, the trauma, the pain, the hurt. What that says. Now, I want you to use not the spiritual person right now. I want you to use that practical piece that you learned, you've been taught this year. How do we make it through those moments, Sheree?
How do we make it through grief? It's personal.
Okay.
It's personal. There's no book. There's nobody else's experience can tell you how long and how to do this. But there is some things that we do teach you from a practical stance, and we call it the DEER, D-E-E-R. Drink plenty of fluids, because in your tears, you're pouring out. So you gotta pour something back into you. So stay hydrated. Eat. That's one of the things that means us immediately when we hear of death. Your appetite is gone. Eat, eat. And I heard you guys talk about self-care. Exercise. Get you some exercise in. But the most important part of the DEER is rest.
Oh, I'm going to preach a series on that.
Rest. Because I felt, let me go personal with my situation. I felt like I had to be up every time somebody came to the home. And I don't have to be. And my daughter, she said, Mama, go to bed. If they don't have the sense to go home, leave them down here, but you go to bed because you need your rest. But I felt like I just needed to be there. I needed to hear, I'm so sorry. You have my condolences. But when I got time to myself, as Wallace stated, that was the best thing for me. Mentally, I needed rest. And that's one of the things that we don't do in grieving. It's self-care.
Yeah.
We do not take care of ourselves. We allow grief to take us to a point that I don't want to get up. I don't want to talk to anybody. But if you are resting, eating, it's a part of life. Death is a part of life. It really is. And I had to grab that in this situation. And as he stated, I'm still going through it. Yeah. Today, it makes 10 months. And we all know that grieving, just starting to heal, is anywhere from 18 months to 24 months. That's the start to heal.
Wow.
That's a long time.
That's a long time, but to the person that's experiencing, it seemed like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Over weeks, months, and even years, you begin to see the decline. What with you all was completely different, because you're talking about a healthy young man, and it was a tragic incident that happened immediately. How do you deal with that? Because I know it has to be different. Although we can't prepare for it, well, we can see it coming. But when you can't see it coming, what does that look like? How does that feel? How you navigate through those moments?
You know what, Pastor? I gotta say, I saw Chen.
Okay.
So I didn't see it to the magnitude of this. But Brandon got in a spirit of, I gotta get this done. I gotta do this. And me and Wallace was saying, I guess the breakup was so bad. So, you know, sometimes when you go through that kind of, you turn to Christ. You know, you turn to the Lord because you're trying to get through it quickly. Whatever that hurt is, you want to get. And Wallace said, I'm just going to watch him and see if he's watching. He never detoured. He never changed. His baptism, his coming to church.
Yeah.
I mean, his just sharing the word. I mean, when you see Brandon, he was not ashamed to tell you, I'm saved.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. But even in all of that, I had to know God was doing something in his life. And what gives me the consolation of all of these is he got it right. You know the scene that was playing on that line? And God honored that. He allowed him to get it right before that. And I think it's in the word, if he has to take you earth to spare your life, to save your soul.
Turn your body over to destruction that your soul might.
Yes. So
Miss King James.
that's a consolation that I have. But does that ease the pain? Absolutely not.
Still feel it.
Yes. I mean, me and Wallace could be sitting out on the deck, laughing and talking, and all of a sudden tears. And he'll give me that look like, what in the... But
It's like waves. Yeah, like waves. You had a beach, don't know when the wave is going to crash to the shore, to the shore area. And sometimes you can see that big wave coming, but when you in there, sometimes they hit you and knock you slap off.
there was a time I couldn't go out on my deck because the truck was in the back. I could not stand to go out and look at that truck.
Oh, I get it. It's some things it seem like we can hold on to, and other things it seem like we need to let them go because it's a constant reminder. And I'm reflecting back as you begin to talk. I begin to reflect back because we knew Brandon as well. From the baptism from church, and even on Friday night football games, he's bringing me my own special peanut. It was a constant. Every Friday night, he's looking for Pastor. Hey, I got the peanuts, and so I'm still looking for. Never mind, that's another thing. But even when I began to look back at old text messages that he had sent, and I shared this here at his homegoing services, how he was asking questions, not how to get rich, not how to get famous, but how he can have a better walk with Christ. Those things, asking me what study Bible he needed, because he was interested in really doing something different when it's like, it wasn't just a fad for him, but he really had committed his way. Off camera, you said you was good with everything, but you had one question that you were still pondering and trying to find the answer. What was that question that you had that you wrestle with even today?
When I look at how the Lord was shaping his life and things was coming into play with him, he was doing good.
Yeah.
Why not?